Yeah, let's see if we're live. I think we are, Gaia.
Are we? Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah,
Good to go.
yeah. So we're live. Yeah. Hello and welcome back to the Zakeke webinars. Today we will have an important masterclass and a live demo of the Zakeke 3D configurator. I'm really excited to have Gaia today with us, our country director of America. Hello and thank you for being with us today, Gaia.
Thank you, Leo. Nice to be here. And hi, everyone. Can't wait to show you the magic.
Yeah, today we will again discover the simplicity of crafting 3D customizable products with the Zakeke Visual Commerce platform, and especially with the Zakeke 3D configurator. And we will learn how to provide an exceptional shopping experience. But first, let's meet your hosts. Yes, it's me again. I'm the product marketing manager at Zakeke, but again, the most important part will be managed and directed by Gaia. Gaia, she's our country director, and she is our amazing sales specialist for Americas. Let's go directly inside the agenda. We will see, of course, we will meet the Zakeke 3D configurator. Then we will explain and discover why 3D and AR are exceptional, important fundamentals for omnichannel commerce. And then we will go through the demo with Gaia, where we will see how to enhance your catalog thanks to the Zakeke Visual Commerce platform and 3D configurator. We will see the fundamentals and the highlights, features, settings, everything you need to set up an exceptional customer experience, and then we will have a live Q&A with all of you. Let's start by just saying that the Zakeke 3D configurator and the Visual Commerce platform in its entirety is a complete solution for all type of made-to-order products. So if you think about, let's see the image, for example. This hat can have up to 5,000 combinations. How is that? It's because you create unlimited options thanks to the 3D configuration. So made-to-order products means exactly what it actually happens when you start creating and give the power to customers, crafting an exceptional and unique product with, again, unlimited possibilities. For example, again, head colors, ribbon colors, exceptional combinations of products that are unique and that can be crafted and creating by customers everywhere in an omni-channel way, because they can be created in store, online, on mobile devices, and also with AR. But then we will see afterwards with Guy what exactly does mean this. This is a fast-growing technology for all types of products, for all type of industry. You can see again examples of products here. Again, the hat. You can see chairs, furnitures, even virtual try-ons for accessories. There are really, again, unlimited possibilities, unlimited options with this fast-growing technology. There are, again, 3D configuration and augmented reality. Of course, we will have some examples, as you can see, customers using Zakeke for multiple purposes. For example, for marketing contests, using the 3D configuration, having customers creating a packaging that is unique, and then use it for their shops. For example, virtual try-ons, as again said, for eyewear and multiple other purposes, and the hat that we mentioned before, customize, configure, and put it on the table. For example, later on, put it on your ad. So again, the most important thing to say is that Zakeke is your partner in business. We are really proud to be confirmed the leader of visual commerce platform with our technology in different categories. For example, the visual customization and the visual configuration, the 3D configuration. So we are aware of your challenges. We are aware of what it needs to be, what it takes to be an exceptional business, and bringing up the most innovative technology for your customers and for your business as well, for your operation. So we are always up to the task. And again, we are always by your hand discover new ways of creating and engaging more among customers. But again, why 3D and AR for omni-channel commerce? 3D and AR are, again, exceptional technologies, but nowadays, again, visual content, high quality visual content, and we are not just talking about static images, is more important than product descriptions or even customer ratings, because experiences through mobile phones, desktops, even in store, are always through our eyes. So at the time, even right now in 2023, most businesses just offer catalogs online only with static pictures. Think about furniture, for example. You can understand dimensions just when you go inside the stores, but you're not in your house. Think about what augmented reality can do. And what you can do is exactly see objects fit in your own space. So 3D AR are simply the bridge between in-store experiences and online shopping, just taking the online shopping to on another dimension and level. But when we again say that this is a fast-growing technology, we need data, and they are imperative 3D and AR for customers during the shopping. Data is here to confirm this. For example, we talk about furniture using 3D and AR. The likelihood to purchase for customers is multiplied by 11 times. 68% of customers are willing to engage and buy more with brands that are offering this type of technologies. And there is an increase of 40% in conversions thanks to 3D configuration, just simply because customers are engaged, they create unique products, and they are using, again, the most innovative technology that you can offer online. 3D and, again, augmented reality, what they mean for your business. They mean, again, as we said, enhance offer, because 3D offers a realistic view of a product. You can just segment the product to every part. You can add parts. You can change colors. You can understand all details of the offer, materials, the fitting in space. That means, of course, increased retention. So customers are more engaged, they are willing to spend more, and they can become ambassadors of your brands. And you save costs because there's no need to create catalogs and static images. Orders just come through, they are unique, they are paid in full, or even you can create market prices because, again, customers is proved that they are much likely to pay higher prices. And those products are especially produced for that customer. So being unique, being of course means, of course, saving costs, saving producing costs, operations, automation, and of course less returns. But you need to start and create an omni-channel 3D and AR experiences. Creating 3D models is exciting, it's thrilling, but again, is a challenge. Is a challenge for every businesses, even if you are a seasoned expert, even if you do already have these technologies in place, you need to scale. And of course, for beginners, when we talk about 3D models, 3D configuration, that it might be, again, challenges just to understand what it needs to start, for example, the AR, or managing a lot of materials. Think about high complex combination of products, set up the scenes, the lights, the market pricing, the impact on online performances and engagement. And what about the ecosystem integration? So you do have a production in place, you do have your orders, your fulfillment, but how this technology can be integrated in your ecosystem is a challenge, is a big question mark, right, Gaia? For example, when I first approached to 3D models, I
Correct.
was thrilled, but what about, for example, the files? What does it
And
need, Zakeke, for example, to work?
true, and not only like the biggest issue is not really the execution of things, because when you do realize that 3D is not such a like weird experience, it's something that you can actually do quicker than you actually think. You get to start, but of course, getting to start is the hard part. It's so talking about 3D models, it's not that difficult to start. First of all, it's something that you could do on your own using either external sources, or if you have a designer in-house that has any 2D experience, it's something that you could do. We could definitely guide you give you our expertise and provide our support, like if you wanted to do it on your own. But if you needed support, if you wanted us to help you get started, if you wanted to kind of get a little bit of a I would say an insight and a dive into the world of 3D models before you get started, we can do that as well. And finally, we can offer a service so that you could get up and running in a matter of days with cool 3D models, a great setup, and a beautiful, beautiful front-end experience. What they need to start. So, of course, we
And for
work with 3D
example,
assets. Yes, go ahead, Leo.
yeah, no, I was just figuring out again the process about creating the models. For example, if it's Zakeke needed, but you already answered to that. But for example, what about AR? Does merchant needs to have an external app? It is everything inside Zakeke. I was just as you walk us through those matters, I was just coming up with questions myself, just because I'm assuming, of course, merchants are eager to know what actually is needed. But please go on.
Yes, of course. And we all had the same questions. Myself, I had those questions before getting to know what 3D is and actually understanding that it's not such a insane thing to do. So first of all, if, as we said, like if they do everything on their own, they will just need a 3D asset and upload it in our platform. The 3D asset could be OBJ and MTL or Babylon.js or GLTF or GLB files. The important, of course, is for them to be ready for the web so that they do not affect your performance at all. And that is key to our experience. We provide 3D assets and an experience that doesn't affect your workflows and doesn't affect, the quickness and the readiness of your UI. And that is because of the fact that we use low polygons models that basically are a maximum of 200,000 polygons, which means that it will literally be quick in being uploaded in the experience, in the UI, and you will be able to configure millions, unlimited combination of options without having to see a slow burning type of workflow, of course. If, of course, they cannot do it on their own, we do that as well. What we would need is just literally a few pictures of the product from different angles, and we would be able to create a model that is exactly has the look in reality of that product. Then we will just set it up, which is a very quick type of experience. It's something that anybody could do. If I did it, anybody can do it. And that is a matter of hours. Sometimes it could be days, depending on how many products. Of course, the more products, the more options you might want to double check and do things properly before you go live. But it's something that is very quick, fairly quick. And above all, the reason why it's quick is the fact that you don't actually have to think of anything that is coded or integrations, because Zakeke is ready and it's a plug and play. So you would literally just plug it into your current workflow and start using our platform, the back office at the front end, without having to think of how to integrate that experience in your current e-commerce or store, for what it matters. It doesn't have to be an e-commerce, and that is something that we'll also get to talk about. We don't just work with like one e-commerce. We first of all work with multiple e-commerce. We work with different stores at the same time because we have a feature that is called sales channels. So from one back office, you can actually manage all your different stores on Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, Etsy, if you were to use Etsy as well. And other than that, we also offer an omni-channel experience, not just multiple stores, but also multiple channels, multiple dimensions mainly. So it could be the online experience, it could be the in-store experience where you just let your customers configure their own products. as they entered the door of your store. So I would say our main focus is to make that gap between online and offline experience go away. So get rid of the gap, start uniforming your strategies when it comes to visual commerce, and do it fast, quick, and better than anybody else.
Thank you.
So yeah, and as I said, like for example, when it comes to generating, also not just the models, but also generating the output, that is something that we do. So like we can help you with generating the files, but once you allow your customers to configure the product, at the end of the experience, we generate the bill of options of what they actually created, as well as print files for images, logos, and text that have been applied to the model so that you can actually fabricate and produce your products, the custom products the client created, in an easily and fast way without you having to actually create a design proof, go back and forth with the client, and do all those time-consuming and inefficient tasks that you would have to do without visual commerce experience.
Absolutely great. Ready to fulfillment. It's what it came to my mind as you were
Sure.
speaking. Because again, bring automation. Because you said something really great. Most of the times, people think that that bringing this type of, of technology means a lot of money, a lot of time, complexity. And what actually Zakeke mean is more automation, more flexibility, but easiness, headless operation for the entire team. Just thinking about the multiple combination that you can create about a design, and we will see that afterwards, right on. It is amazing because again, you give the power, you create the rules, you are the rule maker, but the power to design is on the customer side. But then you have everything integrated seamlessly, fast, in the most amazing way because everything is ready. And you just go
Sure.
sit back and get the print ready files, get the configurations done, and see how the customers engage with those. That can mean, and we will see this, create new lines of products, create new designs, just because customers are asking you something. Without these technologies, without this type of engagement, you wouldn't, you simply wouldn't. And that's really amazing. So that's
Yeah,
why.
and I think the biggest fear that our customers have is, getting started first, but also the fear that they will have to disrupt and change their workflows completely. And as we say internally, like we're a disruptive technology, but we don't really disrupt your
Yeah.
processes. We actually enhance them, make them better, and uh, and adapt to the ones that you actually need. So that's the most important thing to say. And yes, so I would love to show you a little bit of how it looks in the front end, and see the behind the scene type of experience where you can see how easy it is for a merchant that has never had nothing to do with 3D models to actually learn how to use Zakeke.
Absolutely. We love behind the scenes, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me show you a few examples, first of all. Um, So, as we said, like this is something that we did not mention in terms of numbers, but I think it's very important to say. Zakeke, we have thousands of subscribers live currently. And the way we would
Mhm.
developed our technology is not only by being disruptive, but also by being incrementally developed. So what we did is we gathered the feedback of all those thousands of subscribers to actually make our software better. And that was because we targeted different industries and verticals. We work with over 400 verticals currently, and that means all types of different products, all type of shapes, all type of needs, all type of requirements and different workflows that we needed to adapt in order to make our technology the best on the market. So for example, we work very well with fashion and luxury. We work with apparel, all types of materials, all type of textures, all type of configuration and options. The way that Zakeke adapts to each, I would say, chain of production is extremely user friendly, flexible, and as I said before, it's omni-channel. And when it comes to a piece of apparel, we know that people really want to see how it would look. How would they look in reality before they buy it? So they don't actually get a product home that looks entirely different from what they bought and decide to return it. So what we do is to offer an experience where customers can actually see how the silk looks, how the bottoms look, what the options could be, what the pants would look with that specific jacket. And that's very, very important for customers to actually be certain of what they buy. Another thing is not just fashion, but luxury goods in general. It could be jewelry, it could be watches, it could be accessories like eyewear. It could be anything that must look good before you actually buy it. So we work with jewelry. We have tons of different customers that work with jewelry and offer different combinations that can go from the color of the actual stone to the shape of the bracelet or of the ring, as well as the combinations of the different bands of those rings together. And I will show you all of this one by one very quick. I just want to give you a quick idea of how deep and how large the application of our technology can be to any type of product. For example, to the extent of applying it to the gaming experience or combat experience, we have customers that allow their own customers to personalize their own arcade machine, which is incredible, with their designs that they upload or with designs that they pick from a catalog of different designs. And also, we work a lot with the furniture industry where customers can choose between different type of textures, decide how a cushion will work with the actual couch and the footstool and the footrest, and then actually visualize those products in their own living room to see if they would be perfect for their, little space behind or in front of the TV, so that they can understand what they're buying can be actually bought online without having to go to a store. And I'll quickly show you what that looks in the front end so that you can have an idea. For example, when it comes to apparel, you could literally decide that you want to have customers be able to pick every single detail of their suits. So it goes from the style that you want to offer to the different combinations between jackets and pants, to the possibility of choosing the actual materials and textures that you want that apparel piece to come in, and see that happening in front of your eyes so that you can really understand what the look of the product would be in reality. And all of this is incredible because it happens in a matter of seconds in front of your eyes. It doesn't take much. Your UI experience will look as stunning as ever. And the end result would also be something that customers could actually have only in an offline experience if they didn't know there is 3D in the world. And again, like you can do that and visualize the product in different ways so that customer can actually understand how that would look. And you could also show it in augmented reality to actually see the end experience and see it in your own environment. There's all sorts of other possibilities when it comes to jewelry, as we were saying, the options of actually building your own jewelry or bracelet. So the possibility of choosing not just the actual gold color, but also go into defining how many stones do you want, if you want any stones, and what colors will those stones be. And see also pricing changing in front of your eyes to understand, like, if I decide for this option instead of the other, what would that be in terms of cost for me? But on top of that is also other effects, like personalized, not with configurations, but also with your little touch that could be your name or your initials or the dates of the anniversary that you're gifting this jewelry for. So there's all kinds of possibilities, and there is no limit to what you can imagine. Um, Again, like the possibility of adding designs, and finally, the possibility of configuring a product from scratch, like it could be for furniture. So, for example, in the case you wanted to configure a product like a furniture piece, you could have all types of options, not just textures and colors, but also the possibility of choosing whether you want a 2-seat or a 3-seat couch. If you want different type of legs, if you want, like a wood legs or metal legs, or if you wanted to have a footstool or a footrest, or not, if you wanted to add cushions, or if you wanted to change materials of that specific couch with all sorts of materials that, as you see, would look as dashing as you may imagine. So, for example, you can literally see the details of what that product looks without having to actually go to a store to do so. And finally, not only you could also customize your product with customized options like text and images that would go and personalize that product even more, because anyone could get the same combinations you get, but nobody could get your name or your lovely wedding picture on a cushion, right? So that's very important for the end user. And what I wanted to do right now is show you not just what you see as beautiful in the front end, but also how easy it is to make this experience happening in front of your customers' eyes without having to do incredible coding in the back office. So, for example, the way that Zakeke works is that we connect directly to your e-commerce website, whether it's a Shopify, whether it's a BigCommerce, whether it's a Magento, whether is a WooCommerce, OpenCart, Shopware, Wix. I could continue, forever. Whether it's a custom platform with API, we have either plug and play or API for any type of web experience. And what we offer is the possibility to just connect in a matter of a few minutes by downloading an app in your back office and accessing that app, which is already pre-connected to your catalog. So the way it works is that you will just go into your backend, open the app area of your e-commerce, click on Zakeke Customizer or Configurator, and once you are in, you will enter our back office where you can make, the magic happen. You can make the combinations appear. You can create the rules of configuration and all of that. And that is divided into three different steps. One is the scene editor, which is where you have the 3D model, 3D models and assets and parts that you want your customers to be able to visualize in the front end, like we saw before. And the way it's developed is that you literally see your model in all its beauty. The different parts of those models will be divided. So once you upload the model in the back office of Zakeke, you can actually see all the different parts divided into different objects, which is what we work with. We work with objects, and then we create attributes and options. Outside of objects, you have an entire library of material that you can either import in Zakeke or create yourself using Zakeke's
Mhm.
functionality. So it could be literally create a new material with different type of settings, like add it and assign it to a specific part of that product. And you could have thousands of materials for each different part of that product. Not only you can work with light, so it's very important and key. Sometimes models that are created in external software might not be perfectly good looking on a web experience because of the lights, because of the monitor, because of different type of I would say settings of your own monitor and your own experience. So the way that it works is that we allow you to actually create a lighting experience that would fit your
Mhm.
vibes. And the other thing that we do is creating camera angles. So the way to for you to actually create like I would say screenshots of the area that you want customers to focus on while they're configuring. And this is the part where you generally just upload and create the different assets that your customers will see in the UI. Then there is an area where is you actually go and create your options. Again, no coding. Everything is based on logic. So once you get a hand of it, it's going to be very easy for anyone to actually apply and see the execution coming to life. So for example, like if the way that Zakeke works is, as I said, is learning compartments and by logic. So the way you will see it is that you're going to have attributes, which are the areas of the functionalities that you want the customers to see. So for example, if you wanted the couch type to be an attribute, or the legs type, or the footrest color, or the couch color, those would be considered attribute. For each of those attributes, so for couch type, which is this first area here that you see on the left, it's where you decide what the attribute will be, and you create your attribute directly
Mhm.
within Zakeke, defining whether you want a new attribute, and whether you want to connect it from an attribute that you have in the store so that it would appear at the end in your order details as one of the options that you currently have on your store. Or you could also create on the fly options so that you don't actually have to connect them with your store's options. And that sometimes happens if there is a limitation in your e-commerce store. We overcome that limitations to make sure that you can offer as many options as you need, and you will always have that information within Zakeke. So you can literally create the options, decide if there is a camera position. So for example, for the couch type, I might want the focus of the camera to be on the couch instead of the entire scene. So you will assign a camera option that you created within Zakeke in the scene editor, like we saw before, and you will assign it to a specific object that comes from the scene editor as well. So I would decide that I want a front end view of the couch, and I want it only for the couch and not for the stool if the customer clicks on couch type. And the same is for every single other attribute. Once you create your attributes, you can create the options. So for example, couch type, I wanted 2 seats or 3 seats. Or I want another options that could be no seats at all. Like it's for where it matters, it's completely up to the merchant to define what the options and combinations could be. So you are the rule master. So let's say that I wanted to create an option that is called 1 seat. Let's use the one that already exists. So it's 2 seats. Let's say that I edited. So I will give it a code. I can upload an image so that there is an icon to show you what the actual couch will look like if you choose 2 seats, and you will create these options. Once you created the option, you go into the lower step, which is telling the software telling Zakeke what happens when the customer clicks on attribute couch type and on option 2 sits. So what you do is that you create an action and say, okay, I
Mhm.
want to create an action where Zakeke shows an object. So for example, if they click, I want the footstool, they click footrest option and they say, okay, yes, I want the footrest, it would show the object footrest. Hide objects, same logic. Set object material, so you could decide that once the customer clicks on beige for the couch material, you will set an object material so that the couch material will be, I don't know, cotton beige. The same for all the other options. You have whole sorts of different options to choose what type of combinations and what type of visuals the customers, the end user will actually see. And that is kind of the logic of the back office. You go from attribute, options, and actions. There is no coding. There's little drop down menus where you decide what to do with each component of your product and what to do with each combination of options of your product. And not only outside of, just creating incredible combination of options, you can also create different design experiences where your customers can not only add, I would say, the piece of the puzzle, but also decorate it with text and logos and images however they want. And that is something that you also do from this area, where you can create pre-designed templates and set up the view so that customers can actually, you can decide whether you want customers to be able to add text or not, to add images or not, to enable a gallery where they can upload images from a gallery that has only options that you decided, so they don't upload their own designs, the type of formats that they can use if they upload their own designs, etc. And you could also create text placeholders so that customers can kind of go and just change that placeholder without being able to personalize every single area of that product. So it's
Mhm.
everything is in the hands of the customers, and that's the sorry, in the end of the merchants, which is very important for us because we know that no matter what, you have business needs, you have production needs. So even if you want to allow your customers to be able to personalize products however they want, the most important part is that what the customer does is adapted and can fit into your production processes. And finally, so these are the two main things. Literally,
Mhm.
you just upload your models, you create an attribute. It could also be just an attribute of color, so it could be any attribute that you might want, and you
Mhm.
create an option and you create an action. And once you do that, you can decide how you want those options and combinations to be seen and to be shown in the actual shopping preview, so that you can see the end result before you go and publish your product and go live.
Mhm.
So in this case, what you see is a vertical bar of standard icons. Of course, you can personalize everything that you see. And by the way, the UI of the configurator is completely customizable. So if you wanted to have a totally different UI that is more adapted to the UI of your website, you could. So here you can actually test and see how what you build in the composer will look like in the front end. And again, it's something that anyone could do once they get a hand of what the composer part is. And again, like once you've done this, you are up and running, you can go live, you can build your combinations, and you can have your customers configure your products on their own. Of course, there are many more details on how to do this and what to do to make it even better. There's the possibility to group items so that you have big groups in the vertical bar. There's a way to link experiences. So, of course, for example, if you wanted um, to hide a specific attribute in case a
Mhm.
customer selects another. So, for example, most of the times in this specific case, you have a couch and then you have a footrest. Of course, if you decide not to want the footrest, you will not want to see the footrest color selection. So in that case, you can actually link the option of footrest to one specific selection of the customer. So if they selected couch type and they decided they wanted to a specific, oh, not couch type, but if they decided for footstool selection not to have the footstool, you would make sure that a certain attribute is not showing. So that links your options together and make sure that the actual experience in the front end is as smooth as possible. Okay, so let me show you the end result one more time, and then I think that we can get back to business and talk about your questions, which I think is the most important part of this process. So, as I said, if I decide to say that I don't want a certain legs type or I want a legs type, you will be actually be able not to see another options. Um,
Mhm.
it's okay. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the nitty and gritty and talk to our listeners.
Yes, thank you very much, Gaia. You showed us how deep is the Zakeke 3D configurator and how merchants can be. I felt like I can be a fashion designer, a furniture designer, a jewelry designer. I can be a lot of things, and I can create really something unique, great, and flexible just by doing some actions, some settings, creating some rules, and you showed us how 3D and AR and data, of course, showed us as well that are vital for businesses' growth because you just cannot think about how easy it is, but what it brings in terms of new businesses. Again, talking about retention of customers and why 3D configuration is the perfect match for made-to-order products because we saw just a couple of use cases, but there are a lot more because just think about a product, you can customize it, you can configure, you can see it in 3D. You can again put a markup price. You showed us how to do that. And it's amazing what you can do by simply follow some rules without knowing anything about coding. And again, we learned today how important it is to reduce returns. Think about businesses sustainability and how it's important to bring business automation to manual operation because what we saw, what you actually showed us, can take months, maybe weeks and months of design on different platforms of having multiple designers having this tasks just to create one configuration, one combination,
Yeah.
and by simply go through the settings that you showed us today, you can create I don't know how many thousands of combination for products. But as you said, the most important part is the questions and our answers to our doubts and questions again about the configuration, about the 3D models. So you already answered to those. We got a questions about how can we use Zakeke not just for selling, so not with the add to cart,
Mhm.
can be used also for quotations. For example, that sofa can be used and for sales team maybe or other types of businesses they don't manage direct selling and use quotations.
Yeah, I mean, we work B2B, we work B2C, we work in stores, as I mentioned before. We have all type of systems in place so that no one is left out. And what, like, to that point that you mentioned, quotation, we actually have a feature that is called Get a Quote. So what you could
Mhm.
do is literally switching your systems or better, switching Zakeke's functionality so that it doesn't actually show an add to cart button right away, but it allows customer to instead combine the options, create the product, decide the quantity, and then go into a get a quote mode where they can fill out a form, define different things, and send that over to the merchant, who can actually review the combination of options, the requests, as well as the customization options, logos, text, images, and come back to you with a quotation that would kind of give them the ability, give the merchant the ability to come out with an actual price that matches the expectations, but also the customer to have some sort of direct relationship without have to go through like a back-to-back emails on what the price would be if they decided to add a certain item or a certain option or change that and change that. In that case, that would happen by asking for quotations to the actual merchant
And
directly
you
to
get
them.
everything as Zakeke does with the order.
Say it again, Leo. I lost you for a second.
Do you say that we get quotations, everything in one place, in one dashboard? So we just, as a merchant, we just say
Correct.
yes,
Correct.
no?
So you can see the request for quotation. As a merchant, you can see the request for quotation, go through them
Mhm.
one by one, approve, not approve. So
Okay,
better like send a quotation or not send a quotation. And once the customers receive the quotation, they will see it and be able to approve it or not.
perfect. Thank you. Another question is AR native inside Zakeke, or is a web app install needed?
No web app. We rarely work web app. Like in general, when it comes to augmented reality, is completely integrated with the 3D experience. If you have a 3D, you'll be able to show it in augmented reality on iOS or Android from your desktop or your mobile phone. It doesn't matter where and how, you can always access augmented reality. It's literally just a checkbox in the back office where you decide whether like to enable it or not enable it. So it's pretty much straightforward for everyone.
One platform for every needs. Another question: can I use Zakeke on site and online as well? So like the omni-channel part, and how can be used?
Yeah, as I was saying before, we have many clients a little bit all over the world that do combine the two experiences. So they have e-commerce, they have in-store sales. Sometimes they have either or they have both. And a lot of our customers do allow their own end users to enter a store in Hong Kong, like could be in Europe, and go to a totem or a touchpad, configure their products however they want, and go
Mhm.
to the cashier and pay. Just go home and wait for the shipment. So that's definitely a flow that we have done in the past, and it's something that it's very important to us. Like it's very important for us. Like we have a lot of businesses that had a brick and mortar format that then started e-commerce. Maybe they wanted to test the configuration experience before getting into e-commerce, or maybe they had an e-commerce but they wanted to uniform make the actual sale experience uniformed between online and offline. So it's very important for us to close that gap and to make both experiences very very similar and make them accessible from one place, which is our platform.
Perfect. And another question: are there any training or onboarding resources available to get started with Zakeke?
Yeah. So first of all, we do have a support team that is available at any time. There are always there to respond to your questions. They're always there to help you out, to check your models, to provide models, to help you with the setup, see if you did a mistake or if you did it right, and tell you how to do it better. We are there to provide comments and feedback on how you set up your products on your own, if you do that on your own. And we are also there to provide the service, if you need it, to create models and setup. And that is one part, that is live support. Other than that, what we do is we have created an extensive and comprehensive area on our website that is dedicated to a knowledge base. So there is articles for every single need, for every single request. And I gotta say, if you have thousands and thousands of customers, you get a lot of requests. So that means that we have built a lot of articles and a big knowledge base with video tutorials that show you or describe you how to do things. So that's very easy to find, very easy to access, and very easy to use. And then again, every single customer has an account manager or someone that they could go to if they needed more specific support or they needed an estimate for services.
And merchants and people can always come to you and get a live demo
Yeah.
with you, of course, and
Yes,
with the
of
other
course.
the team
Yes, the
that
team
are
is
ready.
always there.
Well, perfect. Yeah, we answered to most of the questions. Again, thank you all for those inputs, for those resources. Again, thank you very much, Gaia, for your demo, for your
Thank you.
insights, and for being with us today. And thank you all again for being live in this masterclass. And we see you on another webinar and live demo of Zakeke pretty soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gaia.